I recall with great fondness our partnership with the county. We, starting in 1984, were the only pediatric trauma center for the entire region, which means that every child 0 to 14 who's severely injured comes directly to Children's, just as people our ages go to one of the 5 adult trauma centers. And I can remember David Chadwick teaching me some very important facts as we formed the Center for Child Protection, which is now the Chadwick Center in his name, and what a remarkable pioneer he is. And one of the facts that I remember so well was that while only 3% of all the traumas that came to, which we now call Rady Children's Hospital, were intentional as opposed to accidental, or really the product of abuse. 30% of the deaths of those traumas, think about it, 30% were from abuse. Typically, abuse isn't just a little slap on the wrist, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be calling it abuse. It's serious stuff. And so this morning, we're not going to talk about the heroic work that goes on every day at Rady Children's. Susan talked about being on the front line. Casa de Paro is an incredible organization. I had the privilege of getting to know them way back 20 years ago as a partner with us. But we do want to get ahead of the problem and not have these kiddos in round-the-clock, 724 intensive care on the 3rd floor and the Rose Pavilion at Children's Hospital. You just think of the hours and trauma and pain whether the child eventually is able to recover or not physically. Then there's the whole bringing back into the environment. So when Doug Sawyer, who's been a good friend of mine for years, he's the marvelous CEO of United Way, came to me and said, I think you're going to have a little time in your hands starting July of 2006. He said, would you help us get this launched? And I just want to take a minute and tell you, I'm sorry about the mic. Am I too close?
The wind.
Okay, good. It's the wind. Mom, I'm doing okay. And if it happened for Susan, why would it happen? But United Way made a major strategic decision about 4 years ago with its board and said, instead of giving very small grants to many, many good organizations, where do we find the impact of what we do? We're going to focus our efforts. And you guys know, anytime you focus, you say yes to something, you got to say no to other things. So not all the money, but a significant amount of the money that United Way raises every year go to 3 high impact areas. One is child abuse and neglect. That's why we're here today. Another has to do with homelessness, and another has to do with financial literacy. And so there are councils of volunteers and United Way staff who have come together to define and advance, well, what does that agenda mean? And Mary Harris serves on it. We have a marvelous multidisciplinary council in the child abuse and neglect area that we've been working together. And I just wanted to, so that's sort of how United Way got here. And the other great thing about the focus they've made is this is a 5-year commitment, minimum, probably decade. So you know the problem, and Susan faces it with, well, you had a great idea, but we need a new idea. Sometimes these things take 5 to 10 years, and so the partnership you've had with Casa de Paro is terrific, because these are ongoing, tough issues to get around. And so United Way is going to be committed to this for 10 years, and it's a real credit. I think that's an applause line. How about a hand? Not for me, but for them. So very quickly, the things that we've launched out of the gate. One, came an idea from Mary Harris, and she referred to it just briefly. It was remarkable. It's called Camp Connect West, modeled after a similar camp in Baltimore, Maryland. And everything we do, by the way, is evidence-based. So it's something that someone else is doing either in San Diego that needs to be spread, or has been done in this case in Baltimore successfully. And the whole focus here is reuniting kids who are in foster care with their siblings they've had to live apart from, and that's one of the most wrenching day-to-day problems, of course, being in foster care. So you can understand how tough that is. Research shows just what we would think intuitively, that if they can maintain their relationships with their siblings, they have a much better chance of in school and the kinds of things Susan talked about. So we had a pilot camp in Julian just last month, or earlier this month actually. United Way partnered with the Child Abuse Prevention Foundation, San Diego County Welfare Services, and many other volunteers. Unfortunately, I was not in the country at the time, but those who went, and I saw some slides the other day, some video, it was a remarkable 2 days. And the kids said some things about being reunited and reconnected with their siblings that would give goosebumps and some tears to all of us. So that's a program we're excited about, and we're going to continue. A second is a very different issue. It's about shaken babies. Shaken babies. And it's called The Period of Purple Crying.